Welcome to the first class. Now, usually when I do a class, I get the participants to do a drawing so I can pitch the level right. Hopefully I can pitch it right today and everybody will get something that will help them improve their drawing. Now, for me, drawing is something that I do to explore a subject. When I'm going to a new subject, I need to keep drawing it until I've totally got the hang of what shape it is and what form it's got, and also so that I can help work out how I'm going to compose a painting and use the subject in a painting. What we're going to do today are some exercises that I always do when I'm starting a new topic. It helps me get my eye back in, it helps me be good at looking and drawing what I see rather than what I think I see. So first of all, what we're going to do is something called a blind drawing. Now, some of the reason for doing this is to just get you to look at the subject properly. When we first start drawing, very often we end up drawing things that we think we can see. You just sort of make it up as you go along, really, and then you get really frustrated because it doesn't look how you want it to, but that's because you haven't actually looked properly. So this thing is a little bit of fun, and if there's more than one of you doing this, then that's quite a laugh as well. So what you need to do is, first of all, you put your pencil to the paper, and I don't want you to take it off until you've finished your drawing. Then I don't want you to look at that pencil anymore. I think all I want you to do is look at the thing that you're going to draw. So you can choose whatever you like. I've chosen a little lamb animal that I found. I might be doing some paintings and drawings of lambs if we ever get out of the house ever again, which is my plan for this summer. So let's start. So what I want you to do is your pencil's on the paper, and then I want you to just draw as your eye travels up the subject. So just look at the shape, and it goes up and then it's coming down. Make sure that you're totally looking at what shape is actually there rather than just guessing at what shape is there. So sort of like your pencil is an extension of your eye, and as your eye moves round, your pencil does that same shape as it goes around. You'll end up and just go round the edge of your subject. Here I'm going around the leg of the lamb. Then it'll come down, round, and I'm getting the shape in the back of the leg, and actually it makes you properly look at what you're drawing and make sure that you're really looking in detail here as you draw. And that's it, I'm coming round by the leg, and then we'll go up, and you can see how the hind leg comes in, and then down, and then back down to the tail. Oops. Right, you missed half of that because the thing moved, but there you go. Look at that lamb. Doesn't it look like a lamb? No, not at all. So obviously, you know, you can see I started off quite big, and then I've got smaller as I've done it, because that should be up there, and then that should be going around there. So do that a few times until you get the lambness of it, okay? So very often I sort of see it as, it's like getting the essence of it. So it's starting to look at what things are where. You know, I've sort of gone for the shape of the head and the thing, but it's not, it's completely in the wrong place, isn't it? It's really rubbish drawing. I think we can conclude from that. So I would do that another couple of times and have a go yourself at doing this. And it's even funnier if you do something that you all recognise and you sit around and all do them and then have a look to see who's got the most rubbish drawing. So the idea with this is to see how rubbish you can do as a drawing. Right, so that's the exercise number 1. And that is all about getting you to keep your eye in. So you're moving your eye round there, and as your eye is going round there, you're drawing what you see. Okay. Exercise number 2, I want you to just do a single line drawing. Okay. Now, again, the single line drawing, what that helps with is stops you from doing hairy sketches. So often people think that the way to draw something and to get it accurate and things is to do something that's called and do a hairy sketch. So they'll sort of go like this as a way of sketching. And they'll continue. Now, if my thing isn't actually a lamb that is hairy, but is, for example, a glass. So I'd be drawing my glass, and my glass now looks like it's a very hairy glass. It's a wine glass, see, like they are, right? So it's a very hairy wine glass. Now you don't get hairy wine glasses. And what that is actually that is me not looking properly, and I just do lots of lines, and eventually when I'm lucky they'll all join up to look nearly like the wine glass, and that will be fine. So what I want you to try and do instead is to do lines that are actually accurate for the first time when you put them down, and to do that you need to look properly. So this first exercise of doing the blind drawing, by doing that a few times, that makes you really look properly at your subject. The second time, that for the second exercise, I want you to do something where you do the same sort of thing, but this time you're going to look at your paper when you're doing it, and you're also going to not take your pen off the paper. Okay, so let's move the sheet back in so you can see what I'm drawing. Right, so what I'm going to do is, again, I think I'll start with his back. So I'm going along there. Right, this time I'm looking at what I'm drawing. I'm not going to take it off there. That wasn't really me taking it off, honestly. Right, I want you just to keep your pen on the paper the whole time. Right, and you're oops, his ear's gone a bit of a funny shape there. Never mind. Right, and I'm drawing round, and then I'm taking it down to his, oops, that doesn't go there, does it? It goes like that, and then it goes like that. And what this also does is that you tend to then just do a light line when you're moving across, which helps you to realise that you can do different thicknesses of line. So when you're drawing it, try to use different thicknesses of line as you draw. Right, I can just see the back of his leg there, and the front of his, what does sheep have? Hooves? Anyway, that'll do. There, right, okay. And so that's my, oops, move this a little bit so that you can see it a bit better. All right, so that's my lamb. And I kept my pen on the page all the time, and this way it stops you from doing that hairy thing. You can't keep adjusting it, so you actually have to keep looking. And when you're looking at something to try and draw it, make sure you're looking, I would say at least 50% of the time. So you draw, look, draw, look, draw, look, draw, look, draw, look all the time. So you're always looking so that you're not guessing at any point. And then you can, and that helps you, again, it helps you get your eyes so that you actually draw what you can see rather than what you imagine you can see. Okay, so have a go at that. So that's another thing to do a couple of times until you've got the hang of it and worked out what you're going to do. And then as the final exercise for this class, I just want you to do a tonal drawing. And that in the tonal drawing, I'd like you to use tone to do your line sometimes. So if you look at the artist Matisse, you will see that he does drawings that are just a single line, and he manages to capture the way that the body is shaped and the muscles, and he captures some essence of it in just a single line. And that's because he has drawn it a million times before he's actually done that one line. Now, I want you to try, but also if you see some of his drawings where he's got tonal drawings, he actually uses the tone like a line, so the tone draws the edge of the thing that the subject that he's drawing. So if I just move this down a little bit, and I can show you what I mean. So if you look at the lamb at the moment, all of this is in darkness and this isn't. So I can actually change that if I bring my light down. You can change where the light goes. So if you're struggling to see which direction the light goes in, then set yourself up a light source. Now see, now that lamb is now quite lit, and I can pop it down here to make it more lit in some areas or others and move the light, and you see how the light on it changes. So now it's quite dark there, and if you look at that's quite a nice way of drawing it. Okay, so you can see that the head is really quite dark, and so are the feet. So if I squint at that, then I can actually see nearly the outline in dark, in the dark tone. So all of this area here is all dark tone, but there's little bits at the end here and at the front here and around the top that are all light. So I want you to have a go at doing that. So the way you can do that is, so if we start in, like for example, if we start with the leg has got, there's a whole section of the leg there that's in darkness. So let's draw, this is where I find out that I can't actually talk and concentrate at the same time. Right, so we can draw this in. This is one of the dark areas. And when you're shading in, try to make sure your shading goes all the same direction and tries to go the direction of the shape that it is. So here, little lamb's leg is going. Right, so there my shading actually ends up being my line. So rather than drawing around the lamb's legs, so these bits, but that bit there isn't actually so dark, so I can rub into that a little bit to make it slightly lighter. So then you can get to up there, and a small bit of his stomach is dark as well. I'll do this quick with a squivel so that you can see what I mean, and then so I am looking all the time, and yep, there, his leg goes up like that, but oh no, that's not, that's a shady, that's a bit that's light. So down here is all dark. If you need a light source, you can just get a lamp or get a torch or something like that, or put it next to the window. The window is quite a good place to do that. Now you can see here that the light, there's different amounts of light on the sheep, so there's sort of an area that's quite dark there, quite dark, and it's not so dark on the other bits. Okay, you might want to do this if you've got like a dog that's sleeping. It'll be quite a good subject to do, because they don't move very much, to sleeping dogs, do they? That would be quite a good way to do it. I draw our rabbits, but right, so you can see now the ear comes in here, doesn't it? So that side of the ear is all dark, whereas the outside isn't. Okay, and then the sheep's head goes in. Right, and then you can shade down this side here. His nose sort of goes like that, doesn't it? And it's good to do it as a you can actually see the shape on the sheep. And there, okay. And his tail is a little bit dark too. Oops, and we can see a little bit of that leg there, which isn't quite as dark as the other bits. Right, and his leg here as well. Can still see part of that. Right. I think it's a little bit shaded on there as well. Right, so you can see there's my little lamb, who looks a bit odd actually. I think we've got some of the leg wrong there. And then we've got a little bit of the that, isn't she? There. Right, so there's roughly my little lamb that isn't completely right, but you get the general idea that, I've done it quite quickly, that you end up with areas that don't have a thick line around them necessarily. The tone actually shows it, but other areas will have a line, and you can play around with your line as well, because you can go a really dark line or a really light line or a mixture of each, and play around just with varying the type of line. You'll notice when I did the single line drawing there, if you look and you see there's a big variation in the heaviness of the lines. There's some really thick ones, there's thinner ones and the things, and it's that makes the drawings a bit more interesting if you don't use the same weight of line on each one as well. I think that's a bit of a weird looking sheep actually at the moment. What have I done wrong? It's not going there, it's coming in here. Never drawn a sheep before, so I think I need to do a bit more drawing to get that right. Anyway, have a go at that. Have lots of goes. Fill up a piece of paper full of them until you've got it in a way that you think is right. If you want me to have a little look at your drawings, if you're struggling to work out what you've gone wrong, where you've gone wrong, then do pop it in a Facebook post, in a picture in the Facebook post, or send it to me. I'm quite happy to comment on your drawing if you want some feedback. If not, then happy drawing, have fun, and I shall speak to you soon. Okay, bye.